There comes a moment in life when we begin to notice the smallest details in our own bodies. The way we wake up in the morning feels a little different, the way food digests is not quite the same, and even the way a gentle walk affects our breathing changes. These are not signs of weakness or decline. They are reminders that our bodies are living, evolving companions. What once felt effortless in our 40s or 50s now asks us to slow down, to listen more carefully, to give ourselves the respect we deserve. And it's the same with medicines. A pill that once seemed harmless may now linger longer in your system. Two remedies that never bothered you before might suddenly create dizziness or a strange discomfort. It's not that you did anything wrong, it's simply that your body has shifted into a new rhythm, one that requires a touch more mindfulness. There's a quiet wisdom in recognizing the change. Some people see it as a limitation, but really it's an invitation. An invitation to treat yourself with gentleness, to honor your body's signals, and to understand that every stage of life comes with its own rules of harmony. After 70, medicines don't always behave the way they used to. What once gave relief can sometimes surprise us with side effects we never expected. This can feel unsettling, even unfair, but I want you to remember something important. Awareness is not about fear, it's about empowerment. When you begin to notice the subtleties, when you allow yourself to ask, could this be different now? You are already taking a step towards safety and peace of mind. Think of it as the adjusting to a new season. Just as we wear lighter clothes in summer and warmer ones in winter, our bodies in later years ask us to adjust how we approach health. Medicines are tools, but like any tool, they must be used with care that matches the stage of life we're in. And here's a gentle thought to carry with you. You are not fragile, you are seasoned. Your body carries stories, years of experience, resilience, and wisdom. Needing to rethink how medicines interact with you now is not a burden, but a chance to step into this stage of life with even more awareness and grace. So perhaps ask yourself, without judgment, just curiosity, have I noticed that a pill feels stronger than it used to? Do I sometimes feel side effects that once weren't there? Could two simple remedies be speaking to each other in ways I hadn't considered? These are not questions meant to create anxiety, but to open space for reflection. Because reflection is the first step toward safety, and safety is the ground where freedom grows. By the way, I'd love to know, where are you reading this from? Share your location in the comments. It's always heartwarming to see this wisdom connecting people from all over the world. Let me tell you about Margaret. She is 74, gentle in her movements, someone who loves to knit by the window in the mornings. For years, she managed her blood pressure with a single daily pill, and everything seemed stable. Then one winter, she caught a simple cold. Wanting quick relief, she picked up an over-the-counter remedy from the pharmacy. It seemed harmless, something she had taken many times in her younger years. But soon after, she began to feel sudden dizziness, almost as if the floor beneath her was shifting. At first, she thought it was just the cold making her weak. But as the days passed, the dizziness became sharper, especially after taking both medicines together. Her daughter finally noticed the pattern and gently suggested she talk with her doctor. What they discovered surprised Margaret. The decongestant in her cold medicine was silently raising her blood pressure, counteracting the very pill meant to protect her heart. It wasn't her fault. She hadn't done anything careless. She simply didn't realize that what once worked for her body had now become a quiet risk. Maybe you've had a moment like that yourself, when something you thought was safe suddenly didn't feel right anymore. It can feel unsettling, even frustrating. But Margaret's story carries an important truth. Small, unnoticed interactions between medicines can change the way you feel, and sometimes in ways that catch you off guard. This is not a reason to fear every pill or supplement. It is a reason to become more aware, more deliberate, and more caring toward yourself. One of the wisest steps you can take is to keep a simple written list of every medicine and supplement you use, even the ones that seem too small to matter. A note on the fridge or a folded card in your wallet can become a shield of protection. The next time you see your doctor, or even when you stop by the pharmacy, show that list. Let them see the full picture, because often it's the combination, not the individual pill, that holds the risk. And whenever you feel tempted to add something new, even something as ordinary as a pain reliever or a sleep aid, pause for just a moment. Ask yourself, do I know how this might blend with what I already take? Have I shared this with someone who can guide me? That pause is not weakness, it is wisdom in action. The truth is, over-the-counter does not always mean harmless, especially after 70. Your body deserves the same care and attention you would give to a beloved friend. If Margaret had continued without pausing, her small dizziness might have become a much bigger issue. But her willingness to listen, to ask, and to adjust gave her back her steadiness. It can do the same for you. You are not being demanding when you ask your doctor or pharmacist to check. You are not being fussy or overcautious. You are being wise, seasoned, and deeply responsible for your own well-being. And that is something to be proud of. If you find these gentle reminders helpful, consider subscribing so you don't miss future advice. Sometimes one small insight can bring a sense of safety and peace you didn't know you needed. And isn't that what we're really looking for? Not perfection, but peace. As we grow older, one of the quiet truths that often goes unnoticed is how our bodies process medicines differently than they once did. When you were younger, your liver and kidneys, those faithful filters that clean the blood and sweep out what the body no longer needs, were quick and efficient. A pill taken in the evening might have left your system by morning, its job complete. But after 70, these organs often move at a slower, more deliberate pace. That means the very same pill can linger longer than before, sometimes building up effects you never expected. It is not that your body is failing you, rather it is asking for a different kind of partnership. Medicines are designed with averages in mind, but none of us are truly average. Your body carries the unique history of everything it has been through, the meals you have enjoyed, the stresses you have weathered, the illnesses you have recovered from. All of this shapes how you respond now. So when a doctor prescribes a familiar sleeping pill or a pain reliever, it may feel much stronger than it once did. You might wake feeling groggy, unsteady, or even more tired than when you went to bed. It can be confusing. How could something meant to help leave you feeling worse? But this is the natural biology of aging. Your system holds on longer, magnifying the effect. And this knowledge is not a reason to be afraid. It is a reason to be mindful. Imagine two cups on a table. In youth, one cup empties quickly, ready to be filled again without trouble. In later years, the cup empties more slowly. If you pour in too much before it is cleared, it will overflow. That is what can happen with medicines in an older body. The buildup creates an overflow of side effects. A small dose that once felt mild may now feel overwhelming, not because the medicine has changed, but because your cup has. Perhaps you've noticed it yourself. An aspirin that leaves you with stomach upset, a sleep aid that keeps you drowsy long into the morning, a pain reliever that makes you dizzy. These are signals, not failures. They are your body's way of saying, I need you to listen differently now. So the gentle question becomes, are you paying attention to those signals? Do you notice when your body is whispering that it has had enough? This is not about giving up medicines, but about learning how to walk along them wisely. And here is where your wisdom, built through decades of living, becomes a gift. You already know the value of patience, of not rushing things, of respecting limits. Apply that same wisdom to the way you view your health. Let your doctor know when something feels stronger than expected. Do not brush it aside as just aging. It might simply be your body reminding you that it now requires smaller steps, gentler rhythms. You have earned the right to take those adjustments seriously. There is dignity in it. There is power in saying, this feels different to me, and I want to understand why. Medicines can still serve you, but only when used in harmony with the body you have now, not the one you had 30 years ago. And isn't that the essence of growing older? Learning to honor who you are today, not who you once were. One of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself at this stage of life is the practice of simple, steady routines around your medicines. It may sound almost too ordinary, but it is in the ordinary that safety and peace are often found. Start by making it a habit to review what you are taking with a professional at least twice a year. Not because something dramatic is wrong, but because the small shifts in your body deserve attention. Just as you would bring your car in for regular maintenance, your body asks for the same gentle care. Each review is like a conversation between your past, your present, and your future. A way of saying, I want to walk safely into the days ahead. Another step that many overlook is the danger of self-adjusting doses. It is tempting to take a little more when pain lingers, or a little less when you feel strong. But your body now responds differently than before, and what feels like a minor adjustment can have ripple effects that surprise you. This doesn't mean you must live in fear of every pill. It simply means you can offer yourself the protection of guidance. When the urge comes to change something on your own, pause and ask, would it bring me more peace to check first? That single question can be a shield against unnecessary harm. Organizing your medicines can also ease both your mind and your body. A simple weekly pill organizer may not look like much, but it can prevent one of the most common issues, accidentally taking a double dose or forgetting one entirely. There is no shame in needing that kind of support. In fact, it is an act of wisdom. Each time you place a pill in its small compartment, you are caring for yourself in advance, offering your future self a gift of clarity. And then there is the habit of pausing before adding something new. Whether it is a vitamin, a sleep aid, or a pain reliever, ask gently, do I truly need this right now, or is it simply a habit? That moment of reflection creates space between impulse and action, space where wisdom can enter. You might find that a warm cup of tea or a quiet stretch eases the discomfort you thought only a pill could touch. And even if you still choose the medicine, you will have chosen it with awareness, not out of routine. These steps are not rules to burden you. They are gentle companions, small practices that can protect you while giving you confidence. They remind you that you are not at the mercy of your medicines. You are in partnership with them. And partnership always works best with care, respect, and attention. Think of it this way. Every deliberate step you take now is like lighting a lantern on your path. Each light makes the way ahead a little clearer, a little safer, a little more comforting. And isn't that what we long for most in these years? Not to rush, not to fight, but to move forward with grace, steadiness, and peace of mind. There is a quiet wisdom that comes with the later years of life, a wisdom that whispers that strength is not always in doing more, but often in knowing when to move gently, when to pause, and when to care for yourself with deeper awareness. Medicines, for many, are companions on this journey. They are not enemies, nor are they magic. They are tools, and like all tools, they require respect and attention. What matters most is not how many you take, or even which ones you take, but how you relate to them. When you pick up a pill, you are making an act of trust in yourself and in your body. You are saying, I choose to support my well-being today. And that choice deserves to be made with care, not out of habit or fear. Aging is often spoken of as a narrowing, but I want you to see it differently. It is a deepening. You have lived through storms and sunlight, through trials and triumphs. You carry the kind of wisdom younger people cannot imagine, the wisdom of knowing that life is fragile, precious, and worth protecting. With that wisdom, every small act of self-care becomes more than routine. It becomes a form of quiet dignity. Some days you may feel tired of the routines, weary of the reminders, even resistant to the idea that your body needs more caution now than it once did. That is natural. But pause and remember, the care you give yourself today is not only for you. It is for those who love you, those who want to see you steady, safe, and well. It is also for the part of yourself that longs to live these years not in fear of what might go wrong, but in trust that you are doing what you can to keep balance. There is no shame in needing medicines. There is no weakness in admitting that your body asks for a little more guidance now. In fact, there is grace in it. To accept that life changes and to walk with those changes instead of resisting them, that is strength of the highest kind. And perhaps, as you think about your own journey, you might ask yourself, how do I want to relate to my medicines? With frustration and resistance, or with awareness and partnership? The answer may change the way you experience not just your health, but your sense of peace. If you found even one idea here that brought you clarity, I'd love for you to subscribe. It helps this little circle of wisdom continue to grow. And tell me in the comments, what's one medicine or remedy you've always been curious or maybe even cautious about mixing? Your story may be the very one that helps another person feel less alone, and perhaps even safer on their own path.